Twice a week, Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay dissect the biggest topics in Black culture, politics, and sports on their show, Higher Learning. They discuss the most important and timely conversations while also frequently inviting guests on the podcast and occasionally debating each other. Check out Higher Learning on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com.
So I've had a lot of very intimate and romantic moments with Michelle. I'll tell you one of the moments. We had a dinner date, and then she got me a surprise.
I don't really like Martin.
There's this huge telescope, and she pointed it at 2 stars. And when
I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. He's trying to show off.
And I looked at her and I was like, well, I don't see anything. She said, that's our star.
I don't know if he's the right one for Michelle, and he wears too much cologne.
Welcome to Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. I'm here with Callie Curry. Hi, Callie.
Hello.
We got a lot to cover today. So
much.
For starters, we asked you all to send questions, and many of you did, and they're great questions. There's so many of them. I don't think we're going to get to that many because there's a lot to hit. So we've decided we'll do a second episode this week. We weren't going to, but hey, it's Thanksgiving. Got to give the people what they want, which is answers to their questions. So we're going to do that. We'll obviously talk about this episode. But first, there's so much Bachelor gossip to cover. And I have some personal gossip too. So there's just so much to get into. I'd like to begin with my personal stories, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, take the floor.
Thank you so much. I was at a screening on Thursday evening of last week, followed by a reception at restaurant. And it was cool. Lots of documentary people, whatever. And then this very tall gentleman walks in and I was like, wait, is that Dale? And it was Dale. And I beelined across the room I was just like, I have to introduce myself. And I introduced myself to Dale, and he definitely thought I was insane, but also was incredibly gracious. I think it was a scene where he didn't think that a lot of people would know who he was. It was I was at a screening for this documentary called The First Wave, which follows a hospital in Queens.
Oh, yeah.
It follows a hospital in Queens from March 2020 through June 2020. It is harrowing. It is so emotional. There's some really beautiful stories. And I was like, did Dale go to the screening or did he just come for the party? And it turned out that he's really good friends with the filmmaker. And that's why he was there. And he was so sweet about his friend. And I thought he was a really nice guy. And I did not ask a single thing about Claire.
Interesting. Yeah, that film has some sort of overlap with this organization. I support first responders first.
Oh, cool.
If you do want to support first responders, you should go to firstrespondersfirst.com.
Oh, cool.
But I think he comes across nice and charming for the most part, right?
Yeah, totally. I always like with people from The Bachelor when they're out and about with their real friends, people they've known prior to being famous. Obviously, you make friends for The Bachelor, sure, I accept that. But I think it's a good sign when he also maintains his old friends.
Don't you feel like Dale's worst kind of quality was what are you doing with Claire?
like what are you getting from this relationship?
Yeah, not that like I don't dislike Claire, but it's just like it didn't make sense and it was like so fast. And I was just like, wow, like you've known this girl for 2 weeks, now you're proposed. Like that is what made it seem like this is a lot.
Yeah, it's true. Like it's also unclear like what they shared that made them, a good fit, if they were a good fit ever. Who knows?
But also that was like Claire's actions, not Dale's.
Yeah. Right. And then when they did that like sit down whenever it was last year, like their own version after the rose, and she was like talking about having kids, and he looked petrified and just like his face went blank and devoid of any blood. You're like, oh right, this isn't gonna work out. This man's not ready for this, and that's okay.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to be. They're on different places. I hope they both found happiness.
Me too.
He didn't never struck me as a cheater, so I feel like they probably just broke up. What do I know though?
No, I have no idea. But if he did,
there were some rumors.
Yeah, there was rumors. Didn't he kiss Jasenia or something? Or not Jasenia? I think
the rumor was Abigail.
Abigail, that's who it was. Yeah.
I think he probably did hook up with her, but he was probably broken up with Claire at the time.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on a break. I don't know. I feel like it was more Claire than Dale who made me feel like this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Also, like maybe he could have gotten to that place if they went through the whole season, but not like 5 days in.
Right. If you just take your time, slow it down. I don't know. Anyway, Dale's a really nice guy. Maybe he'll come on the podcast one day.
But that's not all, Juliet. You have more to share, don't you?
Thank you so much for teeing me up. Last night, I ran into Tyler Cameron, and it was the best because I love Tyler so much. I don't really have a lot to add on that, but I was just like really glad to see him. He seems to be like just going to sporting events left and right. Like if you look at his Instagram, he's like going to like, he was at Ole Miss and he's going to Ann Arbor. And then he was like at the Islanders game. And then I saw him at the WWE Survivor Series. And he's just like taking in all of the sports. Also, he was like been going to all these Nets games. I, of course, asked him to take me. Just like, hey, I'd love to attend if you got some extra tickets. I just love Tyler. And I just was like excited to see him. That's really all. That's all I have to say about him.
Sounds like a great life for him.
I know. Seriously.
I've also noticed that like a ton of the Bachelorette alums, like the guys are like doing like a college campus tour. Is this something that college campuses are asking for?
It's like, you seem dubious. Tyler and Matt are doing it together where they like go to these different schools. And I think it's supposed to be like a betting thing. But from the Instagram, it looks like it's mostly just women who love them and think they're hot, which understand.
A lot of people. No, but same with like Greg, Andrew, and Justin. They've been on this like college tour since football season started.
Oh, really? They probably,
yeah.
They might share an agent or like some kind of, is it for overtime or something? That's what Tyler and Matt are doing.
I have no idea. They just seem to be at football games with tons of college girls.
I mean, that
every
seems
weekend.
Like a great scene for them. They're young, whatever.
Yeah. How old are they? Are they like young 20s?
I think they're mid to late 20s. I think they're like in the 25 to 28 range. I don't know. At least it's legal. It's a low bar.
I feel like I went back to a college football. I know. I went back to a college football game when I was 29.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you feel old?
I mean, next level old.
Yeah. I know.
It's not a good feeling. I had so much fun and I was blacked out. I was so drunk that one of Seth's friends sent him a picture with me and I was like, oh my God, I don't even remember that. Like I didn't remember taking this picture. And I was biting into a cheeseburger. Why I thought like, oh, this is cute. I'm going to bite into this cheeseburger in this picture. And Seth was like, what is this? And I like, it was.
But you guys still got married. It's all good.
It was after we got married. So he had no choice.
Well, he didn't divorce you. That's great.
He was already locked in at the time. But I think 26 plus, you're pushing it.
I definitely agree. But, you know, some dudes, maybe that's just the emotional level they're at. I don't know. Or maybe some of these women are mature. I mean, I'm sure I can't imagine they're fostering long-term relationships to know about maturity levels. But
no,
I don't know.
I also remember in college, like going to a football school where tons of people come back for football games, like being in the club. And if there was like anyone over 23, I'm like, oh my God, she's so old.
I know. That is definitely true. You're just like, and if like, you know, like someone comes back like 3 years later, you're sort of like, why do you even want to be here? Like, haven't you moved on? But
yeah.
I'm sure they're having a ball getting all of the attention.
Oh, I can only imagine. Especially that trio. They're so
definitely
great together.
Justin was on Caitlin Bristow's like live podcast a couple of days ago. And there's a video of them on TikTok dancing. I meant to send it to you.
Oh, I need to see that.
I know you're a fan of his moves.
He's
really handsome.
I love all of them.
I think I underrated his handsomeness. He's just a really good looking guy.
I think everyone underrated his personality because they didn't show us any of it. Yeah. He has a great personality via Instagram and TikTok. I've never met him, but
it seems like it. He seems like a great dude. Maybe Justin can be the Bachelor sometime in the future.
Would love.
This brings us to the next topic, which is Katie Thurston, the Bachelorette lost the time. She's doing this like weird Instagram campaign of her own called 12 Days of Messy, where she's assigning different Taylor Swift songs to different guys from her season. And like Bachelor Reddit's going crazy over this. I find it like really boring and I don't really care, but she's trying to like make herself a thing by piggybacking on like the viral and just general like
Taylor Swift fandom.
Success of Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I find it really weird. And I don't really get what she's doing. I also like, maybe I'm not the target demo for it, but like, is she trying to like maintain the attention of all these guys? Like, what's the purpose? Have you been keeping up with this?
I don't know. Not really. I know what it is. And I've seen a few of them. I haven't like I'm not like going to check it every day. I think I've seen like maybe 2, maybe 3. I think 2.
I caught up with it today. Do you like Taylor Swift?
I think I'm like, what? I don't feel anything.
Okay. Just curious.
Like there's a few songs that like, you know, are great. I actually think that her albums in general seem to be pretty good.
Yeah. Great songwriter.
Would I go to a Taylor concert if she was here? No.
You wouldn't? I would. I bet it'd be fun.
No. Would I go to an Adele concert? Absolutely.
I've been to an Adele concert. It's awesome.
So have I. And it was beautiful.
Amazing. To be loved. Oh my God.
Somehow her voice is better in person. It's actually insane.
I know. She is better. It's because it's unbelievable she can do it. To Be Loved is so good. This is a great time to plug the Ringers podcast. Every single album, they just covered 30. Check it out.
Can I Get It is my jam.
Interesting. Okay. I like the like really like sorrowful, heartbreaking ballads that like I can like cry to.
My nanny saw this meme on Instagram that she said reminded her of herself because she loves Adele and she's like, I'll be at home crying. And there was a meme that's like me at home crying, never been divorced, don't have kids, not in love with anyone, completely single.
Me.
But
that's
somehow I completely relate to all of this.
It's just the emotion. It's so funny you say that. Also, I'm reading a book right now. I'm reading The People We Meet on Vacation, and there's just like I'm enjoying it, and there's been a couple of lines where I'm like, yes. Totally relate to that too, where it's like nothing similar to me, but I'm just like the combo of that and Adele. I was actually like listening to Adele reading this book at a coffee shop yesterday. It was really funny.
I can't do that. I can't read and listen.
We'll talk about this later when we get to Clayton, but I like thrive with ambient noise. And sometimes I like need noise around me to be able to focus, but like I tune out all of the words and whatever. Like I don't know any lyrics to any song, so I just tune it out, whatever. And it helped me focus. Anyway, back to Katie and these guys. I don't know what she's doing.
I don't know why she's doing it. I also think it's weird for her to do it during Michelle's season. I think it's
a real bitch move.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like Bachelor etiquette, but I feel like if there is, she's not following it.
She kind of like acts like Michelle's season doesn't exist. Like has Katie acknowledged Michelle? Like barely. Not that she like has to, but I agree with you. Like back off a little bit.
It's really strange. I just don't know what the point of all of it is. It's like she broke up with Blake and was like, what is going to keep me, what is going to make it so that I can still have interviews and people still talk about me? That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if that's what she's actually doing it for, but that's how it comes across.
Agreed. And I think that's why people don't like her. Like, because it seems she's like continuing to be like this try hard attention grabber.
It's odd. I also don't like that she posted a bad song about Matt.
What song did she do?
Oh, wait, no, not Matt. Thomas. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. She did I Knew You Were Trouble, I think, right? For Thomas?
Yes.
First of all, I love that song. Second of all, he's not trouble. He's just trouble.
No. I saw Becca unfollowed
her.
Nice.
After that. Yeah, Becca.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like what the fuck? Why are you still talking about
Also, it's
Thomas?
clear it was like a fabricated storyline. It's not actually what he's like.
No, I know. Also, like they've hung out. I think there was like a picture of all of them together, and I feel like it's just like kind of weird to post that about your friend, quote unquote friend, boyfriend.
Yeah,
who
I agree.
They're clearly very serious and happy.
I agree.
But yeah,
just
also
back off.
since Bachelors in Paradise, it seems like everyone's like, yeah, Thomas is actually not a bad guy. I'm so happy I was the captain of that train from day one.
You really were.
And so like, just let it go.
I know. Also, everyone on Reddit seems to think she's dating John, is in love with John.
Who's John?
He was on her season. He left very early. I don't think he really got to speak. He also lives in San Diego, and she just moved there. So, and then she hasn't addressed Greg yet either. So, although by the time this post, she may have. So if so, we'll follow up.
Well, I don't know what song Taylor has that's just like, I hate you, but I'm sure that's what Greg will get.
It has to be a song from Red, because if I think like a great ultimate like FU song from Taylor Swift is I Forgot That You Existed from her Lover album. That's a great one.
Well, that would be a lie. So hopefully she doesn't use that one.
It's true if she's doing this whole thing.
Yeah.
Next item, Tayshia and Zach. Dunzo. It's official.
Yeah.
Can't say I'm surprised. There's zero surprise. Why aren't you surprised? What were your concerns?
I feel like the more that we have seen of Tayshia, I don't feel like her and Zach would mesh out in the real world.
Yeah, I agree.
don't know. I feel like Tayshia's DMs are about to be crazy though.
With guys wanting, I could see her like having another guy lined up. I don't know why. I just feel like she's like out and about. I think that if you're in recovery and like really committed to recovery, it's hard to also be like in the public eye the way that Tayshia is. Like, and obviously Zach
That's
is
fair.
I think that's just like a kind of two lifestyles that don't necessarily go together that well. Like, even if
Also,
you are
like,
the most disciplined and sort of like not thoughtful, but like most disciplined and sort of even keeled person, it must be really hard to like be exposed to all of these sort of like events and social settings and whatever, where that's just like not your lifestyle, right?
Do you think does Zach even want to be famous? Doesn't seem
I was
like
just
it.
gonna say that too. I don't think so either. I think he's like happy to live like a quiet life. Before we started podcasting together last year, Tayshia made an outrageous bagel decision on the show where she put blueberries on top of her bagel, and also like talked about blueberry bagels like they were a thing, which they are not. And
I love blueberry bagels, but
oh my God, Callie, no.
Yeah. Blueberries like in the bagel, not on top of the bagel. But
like from Thomas's or from where?
From Thomas's? Does anyone eat Thomas bagels?
I don't know anyone who eats blueberry bagels other than you and Tayshia, so I don't know.
I don't even know where you buy Thomas bagels.
Where are you getting these so-called blueberry bagels?
I do like Thomas's egg or McMuffins. What are they called?
English muffins.
English muffins.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a grocery store staple. Yeah. Nooks and crannies.
That's fine.
It's a great item.
But Thomas bagels? No, I don't like bagels from the grocery store in general.
Of course not. They're not good.
Yeah, I like bagels from bagel shops, which by the way, Philadelphia, wow. The bagel selection here is unreal. Great bagels.
That's because the Northeast knows what they're doing. Obviously, New York's bagel mecca. But again, where do you get these blueberry bagels?
From any of those bagel places. My daughter loves them, so I think that's why I started eating them.
This is gonna be tough. I hope we can work through this.
So if I go to a bagel place, I'm ordering an everything bagel.
Thank God. Thank God. What do you get on it?
Oh, this might disappoint you even more. I like butter.
Toasted? That's okay.
I like to toast at my house. I don't like it toasted from the bagel place.
This is super weird. This is super weird. What the fuck?
Because I don't eat inside the bagel place because I'm like a psycho COVID person. So I get it to go or delivered and then I'll toast it myself. I hate when a bagel is toasted and then you don't eat it within 5 minutes and then it gets delivered to you and you're like, okay, let me play Frisbee with this.
When a bagel is toasted and then someone puts cream cheese on it without letting it cool down enough so the cream cheese doesn't melt into it. I hate that so much.
Me too.
I could literally go on forever. I could become I could talk about bagels forever. We're gonna come back to this on the
Mailbag?
Q&A on the mailbag pod because someone did send me a question asking me to ask you what your bagel order is. So
Great.
we've touched upon it. Anyway, Zach and Tayshia, they're broken up. Not surprised. I wish them the best. I don't know. I'm sure that's hard. Probably sucks to like think you're gonna maybe get married and then not. So it's a bummer.
I don't think they ever thought they were going to get married, but
I just could never see their lives like kind of blending together. So I guess I'm just not surprised.
Like, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know Zach at all. I see Zach like at like, you know, a random like grungy spot, watching sports, working out. Tayshia, I feel like likes the finer things in life.
I think that's right.
By the way, neither of those are bad. I'm kind of a mix of both of those, so I can't say that either of them like rub me the wrong way. But I just don't see how they go together.
Totally. Like I feel the same way. I love luxury, but I'm also likes to stay home and just wear sweatpants all the time. So as I talk to you, I'm wearing a full gray sweatsuit. So
Tayshia's like a fashion influencer on Instagram.
I know. It's just a different life. And I think that's fine.
Can't remember last time I like wore, you know what? I'm not going to talk about my clothes again after I said I don't wear a blazer hoodie. And it was like one of my last 5 pictures. So, and people tweet me about it all the time. So it's never leaving me.
You can never live it down. That's all the news we needed to hit, which was a lot. Thanks for listening to my personal news as well. Let's talk about this episode, the precursor to hometowns, though we're in Michelle's hometown. There's so much to discuss with this, actually a lot more than I was expecting, but I think we should begin with Clayton and the children because this was both hello and goodbye to Clayton this week. And, you know, the show clearly took every opportunity possible to get us to like him. Not sure it worked, but moreover, I think we're just left with questions. But Callie, what is your take on Clayton after seeing him on the first one-on-one with Michelle and interacting with the children?
I don't think that the show tried very hard. When I saw that he was going to get eliminated, I was like, wait, what? He's gone? Like, I still know nothing. I do think that his interaction with the children was great. I do think that he clearly seems like a nice guy, you know, nice enough. I'm convinced that we're wrong and he's not the Bachelor.
I think, unfortunately, you are wrong. I was thinking, like, because you texted me, like, are we sure he's the Bachelor? And I said, yes, we're sure. And Jesse Palmer, the next host, like, posted a picture of them together, like, in an airport, like, you know, in the process. Like, I'm pretty sure it's Clayton.
I just don't get it. I mean, listen, he's good looking. He's tall. He's nice. I'm sure he'll be fine. It just, usually you like, there's like a love for whoever they nominate.
Right.
I don't feel that.
Although, you know, there wasn't a love for like Hannah B when she was the Bachelorette. And there wasn't necessarily love for Peter. Although I guess Peter had the windmill thing going for him. So that was like a big thing. I don't know. I actually don't find him attractive. I think he's just tall. I think he's just a tall dude who plays sports. Did he say he was trying to make the NBA?
Nah, I didn't see. Did
he say
hear
NBA?
That.
He said either NBA or NBA.
Wait, when?
He was like talking to her at dinner about his last 5 years and like how he lost himself and like why he hasn't had any relationships. To be honest, I rewound that so many times, but Clayton is like a British television show.
Background noise.
Subtitles are a must for me because otherwise I can't focus on what he's saying and I need to be able to read it.
I told you that for some reason I like tune him out a little bit.
Yeah. Because he's so boring.
I just don't remember any of that conversation. Don't remember NBA. Don't remember her saying anything about his past relationships. Like I feel like
he didn't say anything specific. That was part of it too. He was kind of like making up a backstory, it felt like, where he's like, I just, you know, haven't had relationships, so I haven't been able to trust anyone or et cetera, et cetera. I wasn't really sure what he was saying. It was super boring. And the only reason he got on the date, I'm sure this is not real, but supposedly the kids picked him because he was good at making forts. And I don't know. I generally don't like it when kids are on the show. I'm just like, leave them out. But they were pretty entertaining and cute. I enjoyed them.
I want to know if they're really her
students.
We talked about this.
She didn't seem to know them. I still thought they were probably like kid actors. Although, why would she kept emphasizing they've been in Miss Young's classroom. They know.
Yeah, that's
Miss
why
Young.
they kept saying it. So I'm like, also the kids, if they are actors, they did a great job because they seem to know her.
Yeah, they acted like they were excited for her too and wanted her to find love.
Yeah.
But I mean, they picked Clayton, so kids, I don't know. Not great.
I also don't feel like we saw like anyone, like they definitely like played up Clayton's interaction with them.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I don't remember, did Joe talk to a single kid? Did Brandon talk to a single kid? Like we didn't see much.
I don't think we saw Joe or Brandon, probably because we saw them a little bit later, but we did see Nate.
Olu?
And we saw Olu. Olu said he wanted to get married in Africa and have a big wedding.
By the way, Nate, I loved that the kids were like, Olu seems like a nice guy. He's kind. I thought Olu was going to win the date until Clayton busted out the fort, which like, of course he's going to win. They didn't like Martin, which I was like, that's so crazy. Like how kids can like just kind of like see through some bullshit, you know?
I thought it was really weird that Martin was like, we've had some really intimate moments together. Who says that to a fifth grader? Like
someone who hasn't been around fifth graders.
It's like super weird. It's like, Martin, didn't you ever like, weren't you like a camp counselor, like a youth group leader, any of that stuff?
He lives in Miami.
So he wasn't always an adult in Miami.
Yeah, but you become an adult in Miami at like 12.
I guess.
Literally, like I know so many people that like grew up in Miami and they were like, yeah, I was going to the club at 14.
Oh my God. At 14?
Yeah.
Was it like a under 21 club? Was it like or
No.
they just fake IDs or they just get in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, I thought Martin was super weird. And then Nate, they were like, I think Nate would be really good for Michelle because they could play basketball together because he's tall. Funny thing is he's not the basketball player. And also Michelle does other things than play basketball. But I'm beginning to get concerned that we're all being distracted by Nate's height. And by all of us, I mean me in particular. I'm like, maybe Nate actually sucks and he's just really tall.
He didn't seem great with the kids, to be honest.
No, he's kind of getting a little loosey-goosey. I feel like he's just sort of being a little bit cavalier. And like the real Nate's starting to come through because he, quote, thinks he has it in the bag, close quote.
In the bag. I was nervous for Joe this week. I was like, is he going to leave? Is he going to self-eliminate? But then I remember we saw the preview where it looks like it's his dad. Has to be his dad. Says some stuff.
I think, yeah. I mean, next week for sure.
Next week. That's what I meant. Next week. So when that didn't happen, I was like, okay, he's safe.
I know. I'm happy for him that he's getting a hometown. Although I guess they're already in his hometown. You have to assume he'll go first.
You would think that. That doesn't make sense otherwise. Yeah, I didn't. Was Brandon wasn't on the kid date, was he? Because he got a one-on-one.
That's correct. He wasn't there. So that's why he didn't get to interact with the kids. Although I thought they just came in at the beginning and all of them interacted.
Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah, you're right. They came in the beginning. Because I remember afterwards thinking like, did Brandon talk to anyone? Did Joe talk to anyone?
This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need. Have coverage options to protect the things you value most. File a claim right on the State Farm mobile app and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The absolute weirdest thing that happened this week was the kids coming back with letters for Clayton and then him like reading them aloud and choking up. I mean, first of all, every moment of that was fake. Like every single moment. Like, obviously the kids didn't write those letters. So maybe they put them in kid handwriting. Someone else wrote them clearly. And then Clayton like getting choked up. I was just like, what's he crying over? Has he met these kids before?
Also, we all know what's happening.
Yeah, we get it. He's the Bachelor. We don't know anything about him. So you got to give him a big moment. We see.
It's just weird though. Like, I'm like, how did he get this? Is there stuff we didn't see? It's confusing.
I don't know. I think that they had a limited pool of people to choose from. First of all,
how? They had 2 seasons of Bachelorette.
I think cynically, they wanted to pick probably a white man after Matt's season and after Michelle's season. And so boiling it down, the people they had to choose from who like maybe people cared about and had like a more recent memory of, like they want someone that you actually remember.
Do we think people care about Clayton?
No, they definitely don't. I mean, I don't know a single person who's like, yeah, it checks out. Yeah, people definitely care about Michael A. Moore. That's for sure.
There's so many more options. Obviously, I'm Team Greg over here. Like, Greg would have been perfect for this.
You love a problematic fave.
Love. Well, is he problematic? We don't, that's debatable. I think Greg would have been awesome choice. And maybe we'll like Clayton when we see more of him. And I'm like, maybe they purposely didn't want to show too much of him because they didn't want people to think that he was like so into Michelle only to then like go and be the Bachelor right after. I don't know.
I guess. It's inexplicable. I can't remember if I've said this on the pod or not, but Clayton is like an onomatopoeia to me. He looks like a mound of clay and he's named Clayton. Like, I'm just like, he's so boring. Just like, don't care about this man at all.
I hope we see more.
We'll be watching. We sure will. But I doubt we will. I mean, the letter thing was just baffling and like so cringe. It was so cringe. I couldn't believe it. Hard to believe that happened. Also, like if those kids aren't actors and they actually are Michelle's students and they were like used for this, I'm gonna be sad for them.
Well, obviously she has more kids than this, right? Like a classroom has more than 6 people.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this and I was like, I mean, I guess like they volunteered for it and like their parents signed off on it. So whatever.
Yeah, their parents had signed releases or whatnot. It definitely made Michelle look good. So that was nice.
Also, no trauma.
No trauma.
It was pretty easy peasy.
Totally. Before we move on from Clayton, I just want to say, of all of the dates they trot out in this show, my absolute favorite that I personally would want to go on is Empty Museum Night Date. I think that seems fantastic. Having a great museum to yourself. Probably wouldn't choose Natural History Museum, though I do love a planetarium show and I love a science movie. But I just think like if someone was like, hey, do you want to go on a date to like the Met and you guys will be the only 2 there? I'd be like, fuck yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain museums that, yes, I would. Are you the type of person that when you go to the museum and they have like films that are 15 minutes long, you'll sit down and watch?
Depends what the film is. If it's, I can't tell you how much I love a 45-minute 3D science movie. Like, I just love them.
Oh my God. Absolutely not. I definitely don't sit down for multiple reasons. 3D, no way. I hate 3D. It makes me ill.
If your daughter wants to go to one, I'll happily take her.
Oh God.
I think it's just a great way to spend an hour. Oh my, like the space ones. And then I went to like a national park one. When they were in the planetarium, I was like, this is awesome. Also, I guess they did that because of Friends. Did you watch Friends?
Yes, I love Friends.
You know, when when Ross and Rachel have their date in the museum. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. It wouldn't be my top date, but it was cute. Actually, you know what? Loved Clayton's dancing.
It was cute. I liked it too. And he was like really sort of like letting loose.
In general, I like when guys are confident in their dancing, even bad or good. Doesn't matter. If you're confident,
just having fun with it.
It's attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Guys who are like, sorry, I don't dance at weddings. That's a no-go for me.
Ugh.
That's an absolutely no. Clayton seems like he would be a good wedding date, actually. Seems like he's like down for whatever.
Yeah. Also, like wedding dancing is different. Like you don't actually have to dance. You literally have to like go on the dance floor, sing some songs, bob around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sway.
Like if you can't do that, like what do you do for fun?
I know.
Wedding dancing is like top tier fun.
I completely. And usually you're around friends or family, people you like. And even also, actually, I enjoy being a rando at a wedding sometimes, just taking it all in. Like it's just like
I'm fine being a rando at a wedding if I have like
a buddy,
a roll dog with me. Yeah.
I agree. I've only been to one wedding where I didn't have a buddy with me, and I still had a pretty good time. It was in the city, so I was like able to leave whenever I wanted. I don't know. Callie, I've been to so many fucking weddings. You have no idea.
I have not.
Oh my God. I'm going to say at least 30. I've been to so many. It's a story for another time. Anyway, Clayton, cool dancer, boring guy. Guess we'll be getting a lot more of him. Shall we move on?
Hopefully he's not that boring. Yep.
Next.
Who's next?
Next, we got the group date where they went to the farm and they milked cows and they churned butter. And it turned out that Joe is a superstar farmer. Who knew?
Like, honestly, obviously I've become more attracted to him every week.
Yeah.
But this week I'm just like, what? Like, he's a good dude.
What can this man do? Even Nate said it. There must be something I can beat Joe in.
Well, he didn't win this scooping manure, right?
Yeah, and he got the group rose date. So I guess that was pretty good for him. But
I don't know how he did. But
because
whatever.
she was like, I want to meet his family. So she was just like, it's you. So
yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess she's like, Joe's obviously gonna get a rose. Who cares if he gets it an hour later?
Right. Martin didn't want to touch the udders, which I don't blame him. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to milk a cow. It just seems gross to me.
I've done it.
You have?
Yeah. I also would do it
for
again.
Fun?
I feel like it was like a field trip or something.
Oh my God. Crazy.
They're way rougher than you think.
What do you mean?
They're not like our nipples.
Do you like tug hard? Like, how does it go?
Yeah, you do. You do tug pretty hard. Like, you feel like you're hurting them, but you're not.
Do they get engorged like women?
That's a good question. Don't know the answer to that. I would assume yes.
Probably, right? Like, they have to be milked. Must be painful if they don't get milked in a certain way.
I've told you my theory that I think that men could be milked.
You know, you did mention this a couple weeks ago. I think it was before we started recording. You came in hot.
I think that some scientist or doctor somewhere needs to figure it out. But why else do they have nipples?
Probably at some point in history, you were able to do that. And I would guess that's why. I mean, or like in human history, like, you know, evolution, whatever.
Didn't you Google and there are some men that can be milked?
I did Google it. You're right. I forgot.
Yeah.
As I said to you at the time, this reminds me of Robert De Niro in Meet the Parents when he says to Greg, "Can you milk me, Greg?" So
such a great moment.
It really is.
I love that movie. But yeah, Joe just looks so great, especially with the llamas. I think that's what they were.
I liked his socks and sneaker combo.
Sheep.
He just really carries himself with so much effortlessness. He's very, very attractive. It's ridiculous.
Doesn't seem that anything works him up.
I got a question for you. I think we discussed this previously, but his hair is growing in a tiny bit. It seems like they're doing he must have access to a barber, right? Because it's keeping it, it's like been 6 weeks at this point. He's keeping it so closely trimmed.
Unless he can do it himself.
I think someone told me they do get access to a barber.
Yeah, they have to. In general though, they usually, like, as you're watching the show, you see like beards grow out and stuff. They probably don't have the same access as they do usually, like in real life,
right? Because of COVID or whatever.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of guys get their hair cut every week.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I get very few haircuts, so I don't know a lot about it. But I was just noticing. I was like, oh, it's growing in a little bit. So he's just so hot. It's ridiculous. And he just seems like really sweet. I mean, the fact is he's just shy. But like, you know, I
don't even know if he's shy. I think he's just uncomfortable with this whole thing.
There's now been 2 dates that like squarely play into his strengths, the basketball date and this dairy farm date. And he doesn't mention beforehand.
Basketball date.
Yeah.
He was going through a hard time.
That's true. I forgot about that. But this one
Also, like dairy farm date, like is he good at all these things, or like did he just like grow up in this space so he's kind of like heard about it, knows about it, but like he's not, it might not be like a passion of his.
Sure, he doesn't, but he's still good at it. We don't even know if basketball is a passion of his anymore.
Yeah, but like, is he good at everything?
He might be.
Yeah,
like he might be one of those people. Some people are just like good at everything.
I swear, Seth is good at everything.
Has he ever tried churning butter?
Everything. I'm sure if he did, he'd be great at it. He's literally good at everything. It's so annoying because we're both very, very competitive. I told you I asked him once, can you name one thing I'm better at you than? Did I tell you this?
Yes, you did. I forgot what the answer was though. It was like playing cards or something like that.
No, it said knowing about politics.
AKA you read more than I do.
Yes, but actually no, he does read a lot. But he reads he likes like self-help books.
Sure, that's cool. I could see Joe being into that too. Feel like if you guys weren't married, Seth would be really good on The Bachelorette. Good at everything.
Nah, he would definitely not talk on camera.
Well, neither is Joe really, so it doesn't seem to be a problem.
That's true. He actually, they're very similar.
Well, that's why you love Joe. We figured it out.
Yeah. Seth is very confident, holds himself. Yeah, very similar.
Challenge him to milk a cow and see what happens.
I can't imagine. I wonder if he would do it or not. Maybe.
I wouldn't. It's gross. The main event from this date was at the cocktail party when Martin said that Michelle was immature because she's not over her previous traumas. And then Olu, being the great guy that he is, told Michelle about it. And Martin really sucks. Like, what the hell was he talking about?
I don't know. Also, Olu like hit it on the head. Olu's like, you just don't understand because you've never had to go through any of this. This isn't childhood trauma. Like, this will happen for her entire life.
Right. And he was very specific about not being seen piece of it and like how it relates to her experience. Like he just and I think like part of what's so frustrating about someone like Martin is his lack of interest in trying to understand. Like just like,
well, he thinks he knows.
His exit interview in the car was like kind of appalling. It was so rude.
Also, he lied when she asked him about it. So I was like, how are you mad? The whole thing was bizarre.
And he was really tight with Jamie. So is it surprising that he lied? Like this is,
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Speaking of which, in our mailbag, someone said, what do you feel about Joe knowing that Chris S said that they were close? And when did he say that? Did he say that?
Maybe he said it on social.
Oh, okay.
Or like after the show.
Maybe. I didn't see that, but that doesn't change anything about Joe.
No.
Just that Joe's nice to everyone.
Totally. And like probably everyone, Joe's probably one of those people where like so many people will say, oh, he's one of my really good friends.
The fact that he is like the best looking, the best at everything, from the same city as her, like has all of these things like these connections with her, and the guys don't hate him, says a fuck ton about Joe.
Totally. Like he must be like just a great guy because
that no one wants to hate.
Right. Like it's impossible to. I have to say Tyler was like that too. I rep for him so hard. The good news is I know he'll never listen to this podcast again, so I can say whatever I want and it's like speaking into the void. So it's all good.
I don't know how you know that, but
I'm just pretty sure. Anyway. So Martin just lies to her face, and I'm so glad he's gone. Like he's just a dick. I can't believe she kept him for as long as she did. He must have really pulled one over on her. I think she also said this too, where she said like he says one thing to her and something else to the guys. And that must be it, because otherwise I don't understand.
I like that Michelle was like, meh. I definitely trust Olu.
I know, because also he was very specific. That's how I think you also could tell that he wasn't lying. And she said like he has no reason to, like why wouldn't I believe him? But also because he pointed back to her poem and like very much like the specific experience. Like of course he was telling the truth.
Yeah, but I feel like usually when you hear two different stories, they always say like, I don't know what to believe. I'm so confused now. I don't know who to trust. And she was just like, no, I believe him. I don't believe you at all. Goodbye.
In all these conversations, that what you just said reminded me of this. Like this came up with Clayton. This has come up I forget. I guess Clayton has said it a few times, but I think that like Michelle is like her thing. If she like, Katie's thing was that she was sex positive. I feel like Michelle's thing is that she's really confident. And it's kind of interesting. I feel like I can't remember like the last Bachelorette who like their thing was that they like just like were in control and very commanding. Maybe JoJo kind of. And it's kind of cool that like that's her thing, but I do think it lends itself to being kind of boring because she's just like got it under control.
Yeah, she doesn't like second guess herself at all, it doesn't seem.
No. And I adore Michelle, but when she was talking to Martin, my God, she's talking so slow. I was just like, get your words out, girl. Spit it out.
That's how she talks. That is how she talks.
But only when she's like trying to deliver a message. In some conversations, like she speaks normally. It's like her on-camera voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's her teacher voice too.
Like she definitely doesn't speak to Brandon that way.
Exactly. That's what I was just thinking of. Like when they were on their date, she didn't talk like, this is my childhood bedroom and I haven't been back here in a long time. Like she didn't do that.
Please listen to that portion on 1.2, 1.5 speed to get through it. And when she's straight to camera, she talks super slow too.
Yes. It's like it must be her teacher performing voice because otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just wanted her to get her words out, but Martin's gone. We're happy about it.
Yeah, not mad. Not mad. She seems to, also the season seems to be flying by, right?
I know. Yeah, this was week 6. So there's like, I mean, the year's basically over. I mean, it's like basically 2022. So that includes Michelle's season. I think we got like 4 weeks left or so. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
I think it's a bad side for Brandon that he met her parents at this stage.
Why?
I think because if you meet the parents before like the finale, it's like usually you won't meet them again. So you get to meet them now.
Oh, interesting. I feel like Brandon is like shined.
I found him annoying. I think what happened when he climbed over the car and started kissing her like so aggressively, I was just like, dude, calm down. I don't know. It just was like so, I don't know.
I love Brandon.
He just strikes me as immature. He's really sweet, but I found him kind of annoying.
Well, isn't he young?
Yeah, he's like,
I think he's 26, right?
Yes, he's quite young.
I think he was the youngest person there.
Yeah.
And you definitely see him being young, but he just seems so genuine.
Yeah.
That I like him.
I mean,
like none of this seems fake to me.
I think he's really excited, but I can't see her with him long term. I mean,
so I used to not be able to, and now I can.
Okay.
Now I think he can win.
What changed your mind? Wow, you think he could win?
I think he could win because I think she would like Joe to win, and Joe does not want to win. So
I think she wants Nate. I think giving Nate the group date rose was a pretty big tell.
I don't know. I don't think Nate wins.
Like out of all of these guys,
Nate's like too cool to win.
I think she might go for that. I don't know.
What if Rodney wins? Curveball.
No way.
Yeah, but like it can't always be like the person it's not. You know, I feel like we always know it's not someone, and it never ends up being that person.
I think Brandon's more likely than Rodney for sure. Has Rodney been? Oh yeah, Rodney had a one-on-one. I mean, there's.
By the way, Rodney's personality is A+.
He seems awesome. He seems really fun.
Also, Michelle has a type.
I know. When they showed their parents, I was like, wow, this is like pretty profound. I think we didn't see both of Brand's parents, but the Joe, Rodney, and Nate all are all mixed, which we didn't know before.
Did we see both of Rodney's parents?
Yeah, I believe so. I think they all have white moms, actually.
Yeah.
So
I saw a few white moms for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool that it's a final for all men of color. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And they didn't even like make it a talking point, which I was so glad about. Should we answer one question and then save the rest of the questions for the next time? And we'll also talk about Brandon's one-on-one and what it's like to wear your girlfriend's father's bathing suit. I mean, that was so weird.
No, you already know. That was
gross.
Big strike for me.
That was
big strike.
So weird and gross. Let's do one really quick question. And you just have to answer off the top of your head. Ready?
Oh God, yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill. Jamie, Pizza Pete, Chris S. Callie's making a disgusted face right now.
Fuck, marry, kill. Okay. Oh God, I would kill Chris S.
Okay.
He did this really weird thing when he was in the underwear and the button-up shirt before the PJ date, and I can't unsee it.
You know that's from the Tom Cruise movie Cocktail.
Of course,
Okay.
of course. But like, it just was weird that he did it by himself.
It just was gross. It's just like that. That was never hot. It's also Tom Cruise.
No.
I love, but he's not for me as like a sex object.
So yeah, kill Chris S. I guess this is disgusting. I guess I would marry Pizza.
Okay.
And fuck Jamie.
Wow.
I don't think Pizza lied about anything, so I'm gonna go with Mary.
He's
I'm
unbearable.
gonna go with Mary Pizza.
I would say he's unbearable. I would off Pizza Pete. He's out for me. I would probably fuck Chris S and marry Jamie. I know that's twisted.
Yeah, Jamie lied too much. He just seems very untrustworthy, so I couldn't go with him.
We'd get divorced. It's fine. But that would be how it would go for me.
Yeah. No, that was a good threesome though.
Yeah, really good. Thank you to the
there.
person who asked. I didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
All right. We got so much more to cover. We got all your questions. We have to talk about Brandon's one-on-one, just some general Michelle musings. So we'll be back, I think tomorrow, Wednesday. So you'll have it before the holiday. Listen to it maybe on Thanksgiving morning, whatever you want. Thank you so much to Devon Manze for producing this episode. Thank you all for listening. And we'll be back later this week.
Adios.